Hello there, it's a beautiful Monday morning. It's time to find our path this Monday morning. It's Pathfinder on AKBC TV. Always a pleasure to have you join us on this program from 9 a.m. till a few minutes to 11 a.m. That is when our slots for the day will last. I am your smiling TV girl Enobongdan. Welcome to a new week. Welcome to a new life, welcome to a new experience, and of course, welcome to interesting moments that we have to share with you on television this Monday morning. Pathfinder is a magazine program with different segments for your viewing delight. We are always so delighted to do it with you. And we are here today as usual, and we just know that you're ready for us because we are so much ready and ready for you. On the first segment today, we shall take a look at the national dailies. If you want to hit the newspaper stand or you are reading it online to get a paper for today, you know the one to go for. If you want to go for all, select for you. Then right after that, there's this interaction I had with the senior special assistant to the government research and documentation. We were talking about leadership style for Governor Umo Basi Eno, our new governor. You know, May 1. You know, in particular, everybody was so excited because he had the opportunity to interact with staff, interact with the workers in Akwa Ibom State. And then, what do you see in his leadership style? The fact that he's trying to make peace with all political parties, the fact that he's accommodating a lot of people, and the fact that he's trying to do one or two things there. Yes, we had that interaction. We hope to bring it to you from our file copy. We also have for you Pathfinder capacity building. Beautiful Mary and Andy is always on standby on that segment. We have Pathfinder Health, we have Pathfinder Law, and of course the You and I segment will not be an exception today. It promises to be very, very interesting. All what I'm just asking is for you to just stick around and enjoy the show with us. Welcome on board from Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation. This is Pathfinder.
Pathfinder TV show. Every Monday morning, 9 a.m. on AKBC channel 45. Pathfinder TV show. Pathfinder TV show. Every Monday morning, 9 a.m. on AKBC channel 45. Pathfinder TV show. Pathfinder leisure, sports, health, education. Pathfinder TV show. Market survey, capacity building. Pathfinder TV show. Pathfinder law, and many more. Making your Monday morning worthwhile. Pathfinder leisure, sports, health, education. Pathfinder TV show. Market survey, capacity building. Pathfinder TV show. Pathfinder law, and many more. Making your Monday morning worthwhile.
Incredibly fantastic. Joyfully alluring. The sight and the height of glamour. Catch the views. Draw the emotions. On AKBC channel 45. Pathfinder AM 45. Making your Monday morning.
This is a home where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It's all man and you know. We go stand together, we go make them better. We be brothers and sisters, no matter where we day. It's all
need the police that can respond to emergencies first.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happen with good laws,
Proper funding,
Training.
And cooperation.
if it happen,
If it happens.
If it happen.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that your complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
Incredibly fantastic. Joyfully alluring. The sight and the height of glamour. Catch the views. Draw the emotions on AKBC Channel 45. Pathfinder AM 45, making your Monday morning worthwhile. Height of glamour. Catch the views. Draw the emotions on AKBC Channel 45. Pathfinder AM 45, making incredibly fantastic. Joyfully alluring. The sight and the height of glamour. Catch the views. Draw the emotions on AKBC Channel 45. Pathfinder AM 45, making your Monday morning worthwhile.
Truth be told, we are always here to make your Monday morning worthwhile. So all what you need to do to enjoy a worthwhile Monday morning is for you to stick around and enjoy the show with us. Welcome to the first segment of the program this Monday morning, and that is taking you around what we have on the newspaper headlines. I will just give you a brief of the headings on the paper so that if you want to hit the newspaper stand to get a copy, you know exactly the one to go for. So on that note, I'll take you around the papers here. I'll have the first paper here with me, and that is Leadership newspaper. On Leadership newspaper, I will start from TOP. On page 20 says Zenith Bank grows earnings by 189% in QI. NNPC cautions Tinubu against military pacts with US, France, that's on page 24. And then coming down here, federal government mum over requests by telcos to raise tariffs. I'm sure you want to know a lot of things about federal government. You want to know what is telcos, and you want to know the issue of the tariffs. You want to read the newspaper. Fear grips financial sector over data abuse, this and thefts. The story is on page 4. And then this one says local government election. Jaga 6 review of electoral laws. That's on page 17. Yadwa's Sanovan note to Jonathan was hijacked. Braga. The story is on page 16. Shetima of the US for America Africa Business Summit. Alright, the story is on page 4. This one says NERC caps power supply to Benin, Niger, and Togo. The story is on page 19. So if you want to get that, you get the leadership. I'll take you to the next paper. The next paper here is New Telegraph. I have New Telegraph here. On New Telegraph, we have interesting stories here. Okay, renovation foreign firms almost misled US into rejecting local contractors. The story is on page 3. That's from NAS Leadership. Okay, we also have this one says FAN NSA to eliminate multiple physical checks at airports. And this one here, the big story here says PIN doctors kickstart early campaigns as race for 2027 presidency begins. You have the story on page 9, 10, and 11. No vacancy in the villa. APC declares. Wow, that's a big story there. Okay, no vacancy there. So which party are they talking about here? Who should heed to this warning? Well, just get the paper and then read them. Coming down here, policy change. Only PhD students can bring dependents. That's from UK. The story is on page 3 and 7. And then coming down here, exposing minors whose parents are under proof unlawful. That is from lawyers. Okay, we still get more of these stories here as you read the newspaper this Monday morning. And alright, the pictorial here shows Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Barrister Hanutu Musawa, presenting a gift to the Jamaican High Commissioner to Nigeria, and this happened recently. Alright, I'll take you to the next paper for this morning, and that's on Business Day. Everything here is business. When you know what business is, it has to do with figures, so you have to start counting. So if you know business, then you understand this paper more. Nigeria's cargo tracking plan hits breaks wall of corruption. That is FG missing. Okay, and then we also have, you can get 6 days after WEF presidency silent over Tinubu's whereabouts. Okay, what does that really mean? Okay, Tinubu's son say on Chagri boards article. The story is on page 32. We also have other interesting stories here for you to read on the Business Day. I'll take you to the next paper this Monday morning, and that is Nigeria News Directs. Alright, let's see what we have for you from TOP. Corruption allegations. EFCC denies issuing list of ex-governors under investigation. The story is on page 22. Zenith Bank posts 189% growth in gross earnings in QI. That's 2024. Alright, so you also go through that. Lagos Calabar Highway article falls federal government demolition of properties. The story is on page 4. Accuses Tinubu of prioritizing business over public good. Says demolition of landmark others unfriendly to foreign investors. Says 1 trillion naira released without approval. Accuses federal government of financial recklessness. Alright, that's a big one there when the federal government is being accused of something. So you know, just get the news and get more information. NNPC leadership petitions the FCC over alleged fraud by Kwan Sako, that's in 13, and others. Party members resign from PDP due to court procedures. Sule Lamido. The story is on page 23. Okay, there are other interesting stories here for you to read when you get the newspaper. Let me take you to the next paper for this Monday morning, and that's the Daily Trust. Our sister from TOP, federal government to reconnect ex-Sokoto local governments to national grid after 10 years blackout. FAN NSA move to stop multiple checks on airports. Lagos market class union threatened to cut tomato supply to Lagos. No, that's not a good deal. That wouldn't be a good one if that is done. Already we are seeing that we are not having tomatoes. As yesterday, I went to buy tomatoes and I discovered that I didn't see tomato to buy anywhere. And even when it has to come from the real people that sell tomato, you can't find tomato to buy. So what is happening to tomato? This one, they are threatening to cut the supply of tomato to Lagos. How is it going to affect the rest of the Nigerians? Well, we'll get more of that stories as we read the newspaper. NNF airstrikes kill many terrorists in Borno, Niger. You get the story on page 4. Alright, so this is a big story. Okay, the information is a little bit faint. I can really see clearly what's going on here, but this should be a collapse of the building. Okay, this should happen somewhere. And then coming down here, war on Gaza. Israel shuts Al Jazeera's office. US please arrest more pro-Palestinian protesters. The story is on page 4. I mean, I was just listening to the news the other time, and I heard a number of people that were dead as a result of protesting over their rights here. And more people are still being arrested, while more people are still dead. There's still a problem here. What is really going on? You get the story on page 4 of this newspaper as you get to read. Alright, so I'll take you to the next paper for this Monday morning. Alright, I'll just take you on the next paper. The next paper is the Daily Times. On the Daily Times, you have NAF kills several terrorists in Borno, Niger, airstrikes. Alright, you take your time to read and get more information. Tinubu's son on Chaco's but a conflict of interest from article. The story is on page 4. Says investors can't come to Nigeria through propaganda. Okay, whatever that means, I'm sure you get the story when you read it. High cost of medicines. Federal government promises to make drugs available. There is high cost of everything in Nigeria. So if medicine is also affected, that means our health could be in danger. We need to work on a lot of things in Nigeria. Which way Nigeria? Where do we go from here? Alright, let's get more story. Traditional rulers council tax Nigerians on unity. Prayers for leadership. Alright, so you get more of those stories. Nigeria, UK's trade relations currently worth, okay, that's 7 billion US dollars. Okay, the story is on page 7. Sorry, page 4. NDLEA cracks down on drugs syndicates. Arrest 5 in international operation. The story is on page 15 of this newspaper. And then we have here Benue government orders warring communities to keep off disputed river. I'll take that again. Benue government orders warring communities to keep off disputed river. Alright, you get the story on page 9 of this newspaper. That's what we have for you on the Daily Times. Sorry about that, the Daily Times. I'll take you on the next paper, and that's the Punch. On the Punch too, we'll have to start from TOP to give you the stories. Tinubu to get ministers' Q1 assessment reports. The story is on page 12. We also have Dangote, Unilever, 5 others cut 1,281 jobs in 1 year. That's the report on page 34. And then you have this one, abduction, detentions, echoes of Abacha era media charm down with sounds under Tinubu. The story is on page 3. Telcos fear shutdown as construction threatens cables. The story is on page 33. Alright, so you have to get more information on that. And then NDLEA seizes, this is where NDLEA, you see there's Victoria here, and the number of cannabis concealed in Abuja gas tanker where it was seized over the weekend. This one said 80% of Lekki buildings have no approval. That's from Lagos government. 80% of Lekki buildings. So how did they start building if they don't have government approval? Alright, you have to get the story on page 40. Foreign scholars lament 11 months on pet allowances. First ejection. The story is on page 9. Major marketers demand more fuel as depot stock drops. The story is on page 34. So you want to get more of the information, you grab the Punch newspaper. Alright, I'll take you on another paper here. This one is for sport lovers. Okay, 5-goal Chelsea left up Man United to boost hopes of Europe. Okay, we also have other interesting stories there. This one says it will be inches closer to becoming third Nigerian with most EPL appearances. We also have other stories here. Okay, we have Club Health outstanding EPL record-setting seller. We also have Tuchel. It would be wrong to go back on exit decision. Man United yet to receive concrete approach for Anthony. Alright. Other interesting stories here. Rates shatter sport top 4 dreams. Okay, get more of that story. And if you want to know more, I'm sure enough your brandy is always on standby to let you know what is happening. But it's not unfortunate we're not having today on Pathfinder. I would have given you emojis on what is happening on this sports newspaper. Alright, let's go to the next paper, The Guardian. We have The Guardian here, and then we're saying we see First Bank, we see Stanbic IBTC, Fidelity Bank, Access Bank, Sterling Bank, Wema Bank, and then we also see Nigerian Brewery PLC. And then we are seeing inscription of buy. We have shares. So they want to go for here. Banks others shop for over 3 trillion naira from broke investors. Learn markets. Okay, that's what we have here on page 6. So when you read it, you know what this is all about. Anxiety is as INEX report fails to recognize Ondo APC Guba primary. The story is on page 3. Northern leaders. NNPC won federal government against defense pact with the US in France. The story is on page 5. And then coming down here, alright, we see this one here says, this one says, untenable fuel scarcity amidst the regulation. Alright, the story is on page 12. Lingering fuel crisis worsening capacity utilization productivity, says NECA. The story is on page 6. And then we see the pictorial of our president standing where this is written. I'm sure the president will have to do something about this fuel scarcity in Nigeria. Everything is pointed to number one man in Nigeria. We have to talk to him about this. Article raises alarms over Tinubu's son's membership of Chagu's board. The story is on page 5. Okay, there are other interesting stories here for you. All what you need to do is to get The Guardian. Let me take you to the next paper, and that's The Nation. I'll also start from TOP. Edu chanting causes for fiscal stability, economic prosperity. Why UK stops students from bringing families by envoy. Okay, the story is on page 5. Alright, you also come down here. Government begins disbursement of 50 billion naira grants to small firms. The small firms. 1 million businesses in 774 local councils to benefit from free cash. Okay, I'm sure that should get to everyone that is on standby to be a beneficiary of that. Banks await CBN's decision on submitted recapitalization plans. How financial institutions plan to raise money. All right, we also get more of these stories as you read The Nation newspaper. Let me take you to the next paper, and that's The Matrix. Okay, the FCC debunks list of ex-governors under investigation for alleged corruption, says list fabrication designed to achieve motives known only to the authors. Whatever that means, this newspaper will explain that to you, and that story is on page 3. Oremeni family spare fire accuses coroner of suppressing evidence to exonerate Dowell. Shetima jets out to represent Tinubu at high level US Africa Business Summit. The story is on page 3. Alright, so we also have a big story here. Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway, fresh controversy emerges. What is the controversy about? Page 2 of this newspaper will give you that story. Say Tinubu on board of directors of subsidiary awarded contracts for highway. That's article. Says expedited contract due to Tinubu Chagri business relationship. Demolition of properties without proper notification. Deliveries to FDI drive. Alright, you also get more of that. And we have this one says Fitch projects CBN to further increase interest rates in second half of 2024. Federal government step to review sentencing for suicide attempts. Okay, you get those story there. Lagos Calabar Highway, Telcons raise concerns as construction threatens on the sea. Fabric cable linking Europe. Okay, the story is on page 9. and there are other interesting stories there for you to read. Alright, I'll take you on the next paper here, and that's from Vanguard newspaper. And Vanguard newspaper today, why FDIs continue to elude Nigeria. That's from Atiku. Atiku seems to say a lot of things on today's paper. We've not heard this name for a long time, but today his name is surfacing on the pages of almost all the papers, and he seems to be saying things here. I'm sure you want to hear Atiku speak after a long while. This story is on page 9. You get the paper, How Nigerians Can Identify Fake Electricity Meters by Tahi Aliyu. Okay, coming down here, it says local firms, IOC is to bid for 12 onshore, 7 deep offshore oil blocks as federal government moves investors at OTC 2024. Okay, a dog about Basiki Days Orbit Legacy Group. Multiple checks. FAAN NSA move to reduce security agents at airports. Employers, labor angry over unending fuel scarcity. Okay, you just get more of those stories. Marketers remain on beat as petrol scarcity enters third week, and this is very getting, and it's not really interesting anymore. Minister words in as condemnation trails FIJ journalists arrest. Okay, 2026 World Cup, Super Eagles will beat South Africa. The name, yeah, that's from Finidi. Okay, that's a good one there. We also have to get the story on these papers and read and have more interesting story. Alright, I'll take you on the next paper for today, and that's the Daily Sun. On the Daily Sun newspaper, we have Nigeria. Okay, we also have all the stories from here. Nigeria UK trade relations worth $7 billion US. That's from Envoy. Only PhD students now eligible to bring dependents to UK. The story is on page 6. Nigeria should apologize to Ndibu. The story is on page 27. Atiku mocks Tinubu, says propaganda can't attract foreign direct investment, insists award of coastal road contract to Chigri constitutes conflicts of interest. Okay, whatever that story, like I said earlier, Atiku seems to say a lot of things on paper today. All what you need to do is to read and get more information. EFCC disown list of ex-governors under probe for graft. The story is on page 5. Insecurity will engage peace marshals across Southeast. That is from Carlo, still on page 5 of the newspaper. Gunmen kill another traditional ruler in Ebonyi. ATM bank slash withdrawal limit for non-customers. Banks slash withdrawal limit for non-customers. Whatever that means, the story is on page 7. Okay, you also have other interesting story here. Federal government under fire for imposing that's a $300 landing fee, 45% tax hike on chopper on operators. Airline operators cried out as operational costs swelled by 127%. The story is on page 2 of this paper. So just get the newspaper and read for what the interesting story. Alright, I'll take you on the second to the last paper for today, and that is the blueprints. We also have the stories here from TOP, and we start from the big story. Order Wike Sani orders to account for 5.9 million naira, okay, and 4.6 million naira loans. That is the big story we have here. Wants details of loans, tenors, agreements published. EFCC disown purported list of ex-governors under probe. So we just know what this story is all about when you get the newspaper. Alright, we also have this one that says King grip to charts, work for inauguration of a new democratic order, cautions presidential candidate on peaceful transition. Alright, so we come down here. Businesses, individuals grown as fuel electricity less siege to economy. The story is on page 22. Dangote Foundation tax fair leaders on malnutrition and hunger. The story is on page 22. Alright, so we also have other interesting story here for you. Or what you need to do is to get the newspaper. Alright, this is the last paper we have for you this Monday morning, and that's the Nigerian Tribune. On the Nigerian Tribune, we have this first story up here. We will support wage increase if If, that is from NECA, page 7. If what? Get the paper and find out the information. Exporters abandoned 616 containers inside Lagos ports. That's from APM terminals. The story is on page 7. Zenith Bank shows continuing market leadership with 189% growth in QI earnings. Alright, coming down here we have the big story here. US French military bases, COP, MBF, ex-DSS boss, others caution federal government. The story is on page 4. Alright, only PhD students eligible to bring dependents to UK. Envoy, that's the story on page 3. Lagos to remove over 100 shanties under Adeyeye Adele Bridge. NDLEA smashes international drug syndicates, intercepts cannabis concealed in gas tanker. Okay, that's the story there on page 25. Serap sues government, Wike, others over failure to account for money here. Alright, and the agreement. And then we also have this pictorial here. See if you can see this very well. That's a Toastmaster International District 94 recognizing the First Lady Lagos State Nigeria for supporting leadership and communication skill development. So from left to right, we also have people who are here to tell how well done for what you have done in Lagos State. How we will tackle illegal miners. That's from EFCC. Alright, to stop federal government loss of money here, set up mining monitoring sectors in all functions. We have convicted 4 Chinese illegal miners in Ilorin. That's from a spokesman. All the news, you find it on page 3 of this newspaper. And then the last information I have for you from this newspaper says domestic airfares remain high despite reduction of aviation fuel costs by Dangote. New pump price yet to take effect. The story is on page 29. That is what I have for you for today. And from all the newspapers, you've heard the the news on the lines. All what you need to do, just go for the one you want to read. More importantly, all what we are praying for is that the prices of things will go down in Nigeria. We want to buy fuel, we want to buy diesel, we want to also buy food items. And so I'm sure the leadership of Nigeria will have to do something about that. Thank you so very much for being with us on this particular segment. It is not yet over until it is over. Pathfinder continues after this time out.
Incredibly fantastic. Joyfully alluring. The sight and the height of glamour. Catch the views. Draw the emotions on AKBC Channel 45. Pathfinder AM 45, making your Monday morning worthwhile.
Yes, it's good to know you are still there. It's Pathfinder on AKBC TV. It's the first segment of the program. As I promised you, we are going to make your life, your Monday morning, very interesting one. So just stick around and enjoy the show with us. The first segment, as I told you too, I have with me on Pathfinder Seat today the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Research and Documentation. When we talk about research and documentation, we're talking about the activities that is happening in the states, how to keep a record of it, and how to make people see and know what is assigned to do in his office. So join me as I welcome you to the program this morning. Our guest for this Monday morning is Sin Ndweso, PhD. Good to have you on the program.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dan. I think it's been a while. I saw you, and from what I can see, it appears that this government is of more benefit to you than more people that I know, because you're really waxing stronger and stronger. I will congratulate you and the entire KBC family.
Thank you very much. It's not a lie, because I decide to make sure that I benefit from it. You know, there are people who don't want to benefit from it by their attitude and lifestyle, but I benefit from it. So I'm happy. You're right.
Okay.
So how has it been with you?
Yeah, fine. So far, so good. We must really thank God for what God has done in Akwa Ibom State. the government of Pastor, the governor himself. He had said before that day that he doesn't want people to go orphanage, and I see this group is already there. I go to the other one, others, and then the pictures all over the social media. I think it was really a day that people who felt maybe that they have been forgotten, they have been abandoned, by the society, felt loved, they felt that warmth, and that was Governor Moino himself, talking to them, reaching out to them. Before yesterday or a couple of days ago, when he was talking about it, there's another program he does for the elderly, across the state. Every month he assembles them from across all parts of the states, selected from different parts of the states, and then he gives them 50,000 naira. He has a party with them, and makes them have that sense of belonging.
Even with that, some people are still reacting that is not reaching out to all.
I said at that forum, the last one that was held, he lampooned because he had feedback. And don't forget that this governor is a governor that does not just sit down in the office, folds his sleeves, and sends people on errand. He also goes out himself to check whether they are carrying out this assignment in exactly how he had envisaged, and so he lampooned and said that he has heard that some people in some local government areas are even going as far as taking more people from among their relatives instead of making So if he finds out that is he verifies that, he's going to deal decisively with such persons. That shows that he's not doing this thing for political sake. And he said it, and that's the part I wanted to even note, that when he is giving out these incentives to people, he's not giving it to PDP people, he's giving it to Akwa people. And so people, irrespective of political affiliation, should be included in the empowerment schemes that he is putting forward to people. So this Arise initiative for the elderly, he said, and as we emphasized, is for all Akwa people at that stage of their life where they are not able to take care of themselves, the elderly, And don't forget that he has also is also putting in place what is going to be known as the elderly home, social events center for the elderly. The elderly are sometimes we forget about the fact that these people are from a different era to our own. We are in the era where the bunch, whiskey and all of those people are making us to dance and groove, whereas these people are from the era of the Young Henshaws, the Peter Efium, the of this world, of Gokman and so on. Those people will dance to those other music better. Those music will resonate in their memories. They will remember the days they used to go to Luna nightclub, they used to go to Namoba and so on. And so if you have that kind of place in Akwa Ibom State, you will see the elderly from across the states. Once is the maybe the happy hour for them, they will all assemble there, and they will have those the relics, those historical perspectives to lifestyle being played back for them, and that will resonate in them, and that will also ignite in them that passion, that drive to still stay on, feeling, having that sense of belonging and feeling loved and cared for. So that's what the governor is trying to put in place, and that is one of the things that that has confirmed the fact that this governor is really not just talking for the sake of talking, but is actually all out to make sure that people in the state, beginning from the downtrodden, have a sense of belonging. That's why the theme of this anniversary, as we approach the anniversary, you see that the theme for the celebration of the governor's 1 year in office will actually revolve around his compassionate stand. The fact that he's a man who has inner desire to reach out to the poor, the vulnerable, the neediest in the society. Okay.
Now, would you attribute the style of leadership of affecting the downtrodden, or let's call it the less privileged people in the society? Because from the rumors, when he wanted to become the governor, they were talking about the fact that he's an albino, and now he's on the seat. This is a golden boy and all that. Would you say he is having no interest, or let's say compassion for these people, because he is from among them, if you will call it like that, or is there something? Yeah, there
were so many attacks against him, and it was really surprising because in Akwa Ibom State we always know that here in this part of the country we do not discriminate. We have genuine love for our kith and kin, and even for visitors. That's why people love to come here to do business. It was so unfortunate that during the campaigns, a section of the political gladiators decided to attack Not just, in fact, it was not even the issue of his skin complexion alone. It was even his qualification. People that even went to school with him and knew that he had the certificate, still were the ones that went to say, no, he didn't go to school. Imagine how you feel. And that is another part of him that people have also failed to highlight. This is a governor who genuinely went to school. I know a young man in he's not a young man actually, but actually he's a media person, and he's also in that UP a category. So even though he's in his I think his 60s, but he still appears as if he's a younger person. Emmanuel Paragon.
He may be young in the mind.
So he said that he started school. He was there in St. Francis Secondary School in Otaku when the governor was there, and then the governor left the next year and went to Lagos to stay with the parents and continue school there in Lagos and so on. And the people we saw in Victory High School, including even the chairman of the Airport Development Company, talking about Dr. Inebe, who had been in Victory High School with the governor himself. And we had his classmates who had a get together and celebrated him. A school principal in Victory High School gave him an award as a worthy ambassador of the school. All of these things were glaring for everyone to see. Yet people still took him to court, slandered him and abused him. Some even went and made mockery of him and singing songs and all of that and so on, just because they wanted to demarket him, just because they wanted to deride him. And then others went out and said, oh, he's an albino. And unfortunately for them, going that route even became a marketing strategy for the governor, because Her Excellency the First Lady of the State came out to say, well, you people call him an albino, but I know him as the golden boy. He is my golden boy. And that is what became the campaign slogan for the people of Akwa Ibom State, for all of those in the campaign committee of their RISE campaign organization. And that better the golden era. And so people inadvertently, like Joseph said to his brothers, you thought you were doing me evil by selling me into slavery, but God turned that captivity into a blessing for me, and that's how I have become who I am in Egypt today. It's not necessarily because of his complexion, it's not because he's in that category. It is just innate in him, because I can tell you there's so many people who are who would have the kind of this kind of situation that he has, but would not even think of others. There are people who are saved, who are helped, who are given the ladder to climb, and once they reach the top, they look down and completely discard all of the everything that has to do with circumstances and all of that. But the governor is different, and I can tell you that even before he became a commissioner, even before he became an appointee of government, he had always been reaching out to the less privileged. I can give you an example. There's this program that youth used to organize in a part of the state, known as the Safe Youth Initiative. It's a program that entrepreneurs will gather, highlight what they do, put out their business, business plan, and how they hope to make it. And all of them will just sell their products and their their services. The panel will be there, who will judge, and the first three, people will in different categories will emerge as winners in that program. And he was one of those who sponsored that program, and he will also offer incentives to those people to go improve or expand on their businesses based on the promises that their respective businesses hold. So he was always a giver. During the campaigns, I remember even before the campaigns, when he was appointed a commissioner, when he was a commissioner, and then we used to go to events, I would see that of all the commissioners, this is the only one that will stand up from his own seat, go to other commissioners, you are eating your fang. Let me see, even taste this your afang soup. If it's the same as the the one we normally cook, and so on. You go around, you have two fish. Let me take one. And he was exemplifying that. He was always exhibiting that in functions, going around, showing that natural love that you will see between brothers, between siblings from the same womb. And so people will start saying, this man, are you sure it's not because of politics that he's doing all of this? But it was not because of politics, because even after becoming a governor, he would have done away with all of those lifestyle. But he's not doing that. He's still the same jolly good, leader that he is. Look at the other day, he went to the offices of staff at government house. He didn't care whether someone was in level 6 or level 5. He didn't care what level, what category, what grade level you were. He entered the office, sat down on the table. Oh, this is where you work. Oh, you don't have fan here. Okay, I will make sure there's a fan. Going around. Oh, you are a gardener. Imagine even entering the office of a gardener, entering the office of a gardener, someone who is not really categorized, in civil service grade. Oh, this is, you've been working here for 30 years. Wow. Okay. Do you have children? All right. Give me a child. I'm going to employ a child in school immediately. That is the kind of leader he is. Humility fits him like a second skin. If people said at that time during campaigns that he was doing it because of politics, how come others were not also doing it? Okay. Because acting is not easy. Acting is not an easy, it's not something you can just overnight start doing. It will fade. Just like the show young people normally watch on pay TV, where people sit, some young people are assembled in a room, in a house for over 60 days or 90 days, and then they are meant to exhibit their lifestyle, and people vote based on how they are able to maintain the particular lifestyle. You know that some people that start pretending in the first week, before they enter the second week, their true nature will come out, and they'll say, oh, so this person was faking, and that's how that person loses the ratings from the populace. But here is a governor who has been consistent, even when he was not a commissioner. He was behaving that way, and then he became a commissioner. It's the same, that same humility, and then the governor, he's still that humble Pastor Moyo that we all knew back then in Eket local government area. And so I believe that people should take a cue from him. That humility, for some of us, has been the catalyst for his meteoric rise so suddenly in politics. Now that takes you back to the issue of how he became, a commissioner and a governor. This is a man who sat on top of a conglomerate of businesses. He was doing so well. In fact, I remember my uncle saying that this is the first person that has come to the land of his birth, Eket local government area, to build the tallest building in Eket local government area. That is how influential he was. All of the services, the business, he was really, really very, very comfortable as a businessman. But then he had a call from the then governor of the state, Mr. Dom Emmanuel. Oh, you're doing very well. I want you to come and work in our government. Okay. For someone at that level who is who is controlling. In fact, he was even called the governor, though he will always insist that his own is with a small g. He was called the governor because he had so many people he had employed and was paying salary every month. And he was invited. So you would expect that he would be given a very high position in government. But what was he given as an appointment? He was given the position of an executive director of agri investment. If you look at the position of an executive director of agri investment, working in the Akwa Ibom State Investment Corporation, you will feel that this is quite a small office compared to what you were doing, compared to the fact that you are going to abandon your business, because for you to work in public service, you must resign from your private practice. So you're going to leave all of those investments you're doing to come and take over an office that is not even going to pay you as much as what you were getting in your private practice. He would have simply said, "Oh, thank you, Excellency, but you see, give it to someone else. I'm actually busy." He could have easily done that. And if he had done that, he would have been appointed a commissioner, and he would have become a governor. Who knows? But that was possibly God trying to see where the humility he is exhibiting, where his quest for service was genuine. And so he accepted an appointment. And what was he supposed to do? To go around taking stock of all of the farmers in Akwa Ibom. So in fact, the first assignment was given then, I remember, was that he must take an inventory of all genuine farmers in Akwa Ibom State, so that they can be in a position to benefit from largesse, from incentives of government for farmers. So we don't have political farmers coming out to get all the inputs that the government at that time was supplying to farmers. And he did that. As at the time he was appointed the Commissioner for Lands, he had taken stock of all of the farmers, going from Oborokara to Obodme, down to Mbo, to Nsulubu, everywhere in the state, taking, writing names of that possibly has been the reason, when he became a governor, the issue of taking a role had already been something he's used to, because we know what he did was within the first 6 months of his government, he asked that the social register of the state be updated. People should appointed personal assistants from all of the wards, and then ask them as part of their first assignment to update the register of the vulnerable in their locality. So that was what he did, and then he was later appointed the commissioner for lands and water resources. That for people would not be the most lucrative position in the cabinet, but he still accepted it graciously, because that was what he desired, to serve. Any platform for him that can enable him to serve people, he was disposed to it. And that humble beginning in governance catapulted him into becoming the chosen one. The one that when they smoke, like they said in the colonial palace, when the smoke oozed out on the 30th of January 2022, it appeared that he was the one that was favored, just like David in the Bible was favored among the children of Jesse.
Okay, now what we are simply saying in quote, in summary, is that his humility is not a sign of weakness. He has always had this from when he was doing his personal business.
He has always been a humble man.
He's bringing it to a larger scale for us to see. All right, so as you are just watching us, the program is Pathfinder. We are taking a look at Governor Moino's style of leadership. The program, the segment is not yet over. Just for us to go for a little break. When we are back, we'll continue.